He promised to return. Therefore, in that day, my people shall know my name. Because I myself who speaks will be present. What is written has been fulfilled before our eyes. Those who looked at him will not be ashamed. Soon we will see his transformation. The man Christ Jesus is here.
Hello, Blessed. Today's topic is the world of the flesh. And now, the man, Christ Jesus.
Today's topic is the world of the flesh. That's a very ample world, the flesh. Oh, and there is lamb flesh and wolf flesh. So then, the world of the flesh is a world that finished 2,000 years ago. Let's see it. In Hebrews chapter 9, verse 26. But now, 2,000 years ago, but now, once at the end of what? So then, 2,000 years ago, the world of the flesh, God divorced himself from it. And now God does not see you according to the flesh. He got tired of that. And then, in that end, what started? New heavens and new earth. But there was an end. There was a change where God divorced himself from the world of the flesh. So then, now, we have that flesh. And it's a very dangerous world. Your flesh is not converted, and mine either. You think that you have changed, but your flesh does not change. What happens is that since they took your veil away, and you feel that you have changed, you haven't changed at all. And until you are not let down with your pet, that is your body, it could play a really nasty trick on you. Now, if you do not trust in your flesh, in the world of the flesh that's around you, if you do not trust in that, and you trust in the gospel that has a chemical, a science, where when you know that this is not changed, that this is damaged, and you know that your rest is in what is written, well, that produces a covering where that covering guarantees to take care of you. All that you have to do is know the gospel and know that in you, that is in my flesh, there is nothing good. If you know that, the covering, it takes care of you. And you know that it has taken care of you. Because that covering sometimes places you in a situation that you say, wow, I almost messed it up. The serpent, your pet, nothing tames it. Now, Paul says, why as though living in the world? Because we live here, but our mind lives differently. Totally. Your mind resurrected with Christ. Look at it there in Colossians 3, verse 1. Look what it says. If then you were raised with Christ, but apostle, I have not resurrected. It's that you are looking at everything in the flesh. And in the end of the ages, in that end, the ages ended of the world of the flesh. And then the world of the spirit came in. And then Paul says, if then you were raised with Christ, seek those things which are above. Okay, apostle, so what I got to do? Look up, right? No, because you're not going to see nothing. And what are the things which are above? It's the mind. Because if you look up, you're not going to see nothing. Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. That's what he's doing, is separating the spirit and the flesh. For you died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is our life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Yes. This is your moral strength. This is what will make the difference in your life. The only thing that you have to take care of yourself from the serpent that comes to your senses. Be careful with your senses, your emotions, how you deal with it. I declare you blessed and reigning.
Hello, Blessed. Today's topic is grace, the science of God for humanity. And now, the man, Christ Jesus.
The topic is grace is God's science for humanity. Part 2. For I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly, I would say, or lower, than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. But you know that no concepts are any good, or the high or the low. The concept that matters is the one that God has of you, the spiritual one, because the apostle says that we are angels, that we are treasures in earthly vessels, and a treasure has a lot of value. Now, when you discover God's concept of you, that's the one that will make you happy. And if God's concept of you does not make you happy, it's that you are damaged from the factory or something's wrong with you. Because in God's concept, there is no competition. You do not compete. You are who you are. And be it high or low, that does not count. What counts is the measure that God gives you, be it 30, 60, or 100-fold. There's something that calls my attention in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 20. Brethren, do not be children in understanding. However, in malice be babes, but in understanding be mature. You know that if you are mature and you think correctly, you are not malicious. The people that are malicious, they are always hurting themselves. It says here that you should be mature in the way you think, and that keeps you young, keeps you calm. Say, the way I think counts, because everything is in the mind. With the mind and the way you think, you will conquer many obstacles in your life. And you will rest. You will be calm with the way you think. It's that you are in the promises of this covenant. But you have to have a way of thinking. And it should be a way of thinking in maturity, not childlike. Because that maturity annuls malice. Malice is to think with evilness. Malice produces competition. Malice produces malice. Because you cannot rest. And you are not trusting in your angels. For you, the angels do not exist, because your malice is what replaces the angelical covering. But if you live calm and you don't have doubts, then that gives you rest. You are not in malice, because your way of thinking annuls those works of the flesh in you.
read, thanks to the gospel of grace.